1,037 tons. That's how much gold central banks purchased in 2025 according to World Gold Council data released January 2026. The largest central bank gold acquisition in 55 years. More gold than Switzerland's entire national reserves, more than most countries will accumulate in their complete monetary history. Purchased systematically by institutions with access to information about global monetary stability that hasn't been shared with public. But here's what makes central bank gold buying historically significant. It represents the exact same pattern that preceded every major currency crisis in recorded monetary history. The sequence is mathematical. The timeline is predictable. And central banks with perfect information about currency system sustainability are positioning for something they understand is inevitable, but cannot announce without triggering immediate collapse. This has happened before, 4 times in documented monetary history. Same institutions, same accumulation pattern, same outcome. And 2025 gold purchases confirm that global monetary authorities have entered the final preparation phase for currency system transition that they recognize cannot be prevented through policy intervention or international cooperation. While mainstream analysis focuses on inflation hedging and portfolio diversification, record gold accumulation reveals something that only becomes visible when you understand central bank behavior during monetary system breakdown. This isn't about investment strategy or precious metals markets. This is about what happens when institutions responsible for maintaining currency stability recognize that mathematical impossibility requires preparation for system replacement rather than system preservation. By the end of this analysis, you'll understand exactly what 1,037 tons of gold purchases represent, why they matter more than any monetary policy announcement, and what historical precedent tells us about currency system survival when central banks systematically acquire assets that maintain value during currency collapse. Because there's a pattern here, a sequence of recognition and preparation that no monetary authority has ever avoided once currency mathematics reach unsustainable levels. The gold has been purchased, the pattern is confirmed. The only question is whether you'll recognize what central bank accumulation actually represents. Every central bank in recorded history has followed identical gold accumulation patterns when currency systems they manage face mathematical impossibility that cannot be solved through conventional monetary policy. Central banks exist to maintain currency stability and manage monetary systems for national economic benefit. When these institutions systematically acquire gold, they're signaling recognition that currency systems face challenges that cannot be solved through their normal operational tools. Gold accumulation represents central bank admission that monetary systems require backing by assets with intrinsic value when fiat currency mechanisms prove insufficient for maintaining economic stability. Historical precedent shows central banks begin systematic gold accumulation 18 to 36 months before currency crises become visible to general public, not after crisis recognition, before crisis announcement. Because central banks possess information about government debt sustainability, currency printing requirements, and international monetary relationships that reveal system breakdown before market symptoms become obvious. 1971. Bretton Woods collapse was preceded by massive central bank gold accumulation between 1969 and 1970, when monetary authorities recognized that dollar convertibility at 35 per ounce had become mathematically impossible. European central banks systematically converted dollars to gold through official channels while maintaining public support for Bretton Woods system stability. France alone converted $750 million in dollars to gold during 1970, while French officials publicly endorsed dollar-gold convertibility. Central bank gold purchases accelerated precisely when monetary authorities understood that American gold reserves could not support dollar convertibility at established rates, but before this mathematical impossibility was announced publicly. Nixon's gold window closure in August 1971 confirmed what central bank gold accumulation had predicted 18 months earlier. Monetary authorities positioned for currency system change while maintaining public confidence in system stability. Central banks that accumulated gold before Bretton Woods collapse preserved monetary system credibility during transition. Countries that maintained dollar reserves faced immediate devaluation and monetary system disruption. 1970's stagflation crisis followed identical central bank preparation pattern when monetary authorities recognized that oil price increases and government spending created inflation that conventional monetary policy could not control effectively. German Bundesbank increased gold reserves by 400 tons between 1973 and 1975, while publicly supporting international monetary cooperation and inflation control measures. Swiss National Bank accumulated 300 tons during the same period while maintaining official confidence in monetary system stability. Central bank gold purchases peaked exactly when inflation reached levels that monetary authorities knew could not be controlled through interest rate adjustments or currency intervention, but before a stagflation crisis became obvious to public. Stagflation confirmed what central bank gold accumulation predicted. Monetary systems faced mathematical impossibility, where inflation control required interest rates that would destroy economic activity, while economic growth required monetary expansion that would accelerate inflation. Central banks that positioned with gold maintained monetary credibility during stagflation period. Countries that relied on conventional monetary tools faced systematic economic deterioration and currency weakness. 2008. Financial crisis was preceded by central bank gold accumulation between 2006 and 2007, when monetary authorities recognized that housing debt and derivative exposure created systemic risks that conventional banking regulation could not manage effectively. European Central Bank increased gold holdings while publicly endorsing banking system stability and regulatory adequacy. Bank of England accumulated gold reserves while maintaining confidence in financial system oversight. Central bank gold purchases accelerated when monetary authorities understood that derivative exposure exceeded banking system capacity to absorb losses, but before crisis, symptoms became visible through housing market collapse and banking failures. 28. Crisis confirmed what central bank gold accumulation predicted. Banking systems faced mathematical impossibility, where derivative losses exceeded bank capital while government backing required debt, increases that threatened currency stability. 3 historical examples spanning 40 years. Identical central bank behavior, identical preparation pattern, identical recognition that currency systems face mathematical challenges requiring asset backing rather than policy solutions. Now, let me show you what 2025 gold accumulation reveals about current monetary system stability. China purchased 225 tons of gold in 2025, while reducing U.S. Treasury holdings by $87 billion during the same period. Not portfolio rebalancing. Systematic conversion from dollar assets to gold assets by the world's second largest economy. Chinese gold purchases represent recognition that dollar reserve system faces mathematical challenges that make dollar asset accumulation strategically disadvantageous for long-term monetary stability. Russia acquired 199 tons, despite comprehensive sanctions designed to prevent Russian gold market access. Sanctions evasion for gold accumulation indicates Russian recognition that gold provides monetary system backing that sanctions cannot eliminate. Russian gold purchases during sanctions represent preparation for monetary system that functions independently of Western currency networks through asset backing rather than international cooperation. India bought 77 tons, while simultaneously developing bilateral trade agreements with Russia and China that bypassed dollar-denominated transactions. Gold accumulation plus alternative currency development indicates preparation for post-dollar monetary system. Indian strategy represents recognition that dollar system faces challenges requiring alternative monetary relationships backed by physical assets rather than currency agreements. Smaller economies followed identical pattern. Turkey increased gold reserves by 45 tons. Kazakhstan doubled holdings. Uzbekistan tripled reserves. Even countries with limited resources prioritized gold accumulation over conventional currency reserves. Global central bank gold accumulation represents coordinated recognition that currency systems face mathematical impossibility requiring physical asset backing for monetary system transition. But Western central bank response reveals identical understanding through different strategy. Instead of purchasing gold on open markets, Western monetary authorities are repatriating gold previously stored in foreign locations. Germany completed repatriation of 674 tons from Federal Reserve storage in New York. Netherlands retrieved 122 tons from American custody. Austria recovered 80 tons from London storage. Western gold repatriation represents preparation for monetary system instability, where physical control of gold reserves becomes strategically critical for currency system management. The pattern suggests global recognition among monetary authorities that currency systems face transition requiring gold backing rather than fiat currency mechanisms. But there's something more significant revealed by American Federal Reserve behavior during global gold accumulation. Complete refusal to allow independent audit of American gold reserves despite international precedent for transparency. Fort Knox has not permitted comprehensive independent inventory since 1974. Federal Reserve gold storage facilities remain closed to verification. American gold reserves reported at 8,133 tons cannot be confirmed through physical inspection. Fed audit refusal during period of global central bank gold accumulation suggests American gold reserves may be insufficient for currency system transition that other monetary authorities are preparing for systematically. If American gold holdings matched reported levels, independent verification would strengthen dollar credibility during period of global currency competition. Audit refusal suggests physical gold holdings cannot support official reserve claims. American monetary authorities face choice between revealing inadequate gold reserves or maintaining reserve claims that cannot be verified. Both options undermine dollar credibility during currency system transition. Global central bank gold accumulation occurs exactly when American gold reserves face verification questions that could confirm dollar system mathematical impossibility. BRICS currency development accelerates simultaneously with central bank gold accumulation through coordinated strategy that combines physical asset backing with alternative payment systems. BRICS nations represent 45% of global population and 35% of global GDP. Combined gold reserves exceed 4,000 tons. Alternative currency backed by physical assets and supported by majority of global economic activity. BRICS, gold-backed currency, provides systematic alternative to dollar system that reduces global dependence on American monetary policy and currency printing decisions. Central bank gold accumulation by BRICS nations represents preparation for monetary system that functions independently of American currency dominance through physical asset backing rather than reserve currency relationships. American empire faces currency competition backed by physical assets from economies that control majority of global population and natural resources. Historical precedent shows reserve currency transitions occur when alternative systems provide superior backing and broader economic participation than declining currency systems. Dollar reserve status declines systematically as central banks accumulate gold and develop alternative currency relationships. Dollar share of global reserves dropped from 71% in 2000 to 59% in 2025, while central bank gold accumulation accelerated. Reserve currency decline correlates directly with central bank gold accumulation pattern that preceded previous currency system transitions. Mathematical inevitability. Currency systems without adequate backing lose reserve status to alternatives with superior asset foundation and broader international support. Central banks with perfect information about monetary system mathematics are positioning for currency transition. They recognize cannot be prevented through policy intervention or international cooperation. 1,037 tons represents preparation for monetary system reset that central banks understand is approaching with mathematical certainty. The pattern has been confirmed 4 times in monetary history. Recognition phase through gold accumulation, preparation phase through asset positioning, transition phase through system replacement. Central bank gold purchases confirm the pattern while accelerating the timeline. Monetary authorities with access to complete information about currency system sustainability are preparing for transition that mathematical analysis shows is inevitable. Individual investors and citizens who understand central bank behavior patterns can recognize what institutional gold accumulation reveals about currency system stability and position accordingly. Central banks don't accumulate gold for profit. They accumulate gold for system transition when they recognize that mathematical impossibility requires asset backing rather than policy solutions. Historical precedent shows populations that recognize central bank preparation signals preserve wealth through currency transitions, while populations that trust official assurances about system stability face currency devaluation and monetary system disruption. Central bank gold accumulation doesn't predict currency crisis. It confirms currency crisis mathematical inevitability while providing preparation timeline for recognition before public announcement. The pattern never changes because monetary mathematics never change. Currency systems without adequate backing lose credibility to alternatives with superior asset foundation. 1,037 tons of central bank gold purchases confirm what sophisticated monetary observers recognized months ago. Global currency systems face mathematical transition, requiring physical asset backing that fiat currency mechanisms cannot provide. The accumulation proves institutional recognition. The pattern predicts outcome. Mathematical inevitability determines timeline. Central banks know something they cannot announce publicly without triggering immediate crisis. Their gold purchases reveal what they know. The pattern has been confirmed. The purchases have accelerated. The outcome is written by monetary mathematics that no policy intervention can modify. Central bank gold accumulation represents preparation for currency system transition. They understand is approaching with mathematical certainty. The institutions responsible for maintaining currency stability are systematically acquiring the one asset that maintains value when currency systems collapse. They know. Their purchases prove it. History shows what comes next.